Search and rescue teams from outside KwaZulu-Natal have arrived in the province to assist with search and rescue efforts. Thousands of people have been left displaced, with hundreds losing their lives. The government declared a provincial state of disaster in KwaZulu-Natal. President Cyril Ramaphosa said the disaster is part of climate change, but many residents in the area blamed poor infrastructure for the scale of the flooding. For more on this, we are now across to our reporter Vusi Khumalo. Vusi, thank you so much for joining us. Now, earlier on, you were in another part of Durban where residents there were really picking up the pieces in terms of trying to rebuild their homes. But one of the concerns that they had was they still felt that, search and rescue teams needed to come to the area to help them find some of their missing relatives. Talk to us about where you are at the moment and what's happening there.
Yes, indeed. Many communities are still worried about their loved ones who are still trapped under the rubble, and some of them, their shacks were washed away or swept away by the floods on Monday night when they struck many parts of KwaZulu-Natal and Durban, killing more than 300 and 386 in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Well, we are at Panthers Hill. That's an area that's near Springfield here, just around the corner of Durban here in the Springfield area. So I'm here. Let me step out here of the shot so that Tabo Mtweni will show you just the extent of the damage, disruptions that were caused here on Monday night. Is the household belonging to one Mr. Kula, who's I'm going to invite now so that he can tell us, or just to describe the kind of situation that we are finding ourselves in at the moment. And earlier on, you told us about the experience that you have had here in this area that's led to the death of two of your relatives. If you can just tell us more about that experience.
All right. I'll hold it for you. What happened was the incident happened around 1 o'clock at night when the rain was very heavy. So what we believe there was a landslide which collapsed the house, the wall, which collapsed inside and allowing all the mud and soil inside the house. During that time, inside there was my brother, his wife, and his 3 kids, which one of the 4-year-olds survived because when the collapse happened, the whole soil went over my brother. But the 2 8-year-old girl and 6-year-old boy were trapped under the mud. The 6-year-old boy, we, after an hour of working and trying to demolish the house and remove the rubble and the mud, we managed to take them out, but it was too late. With the girl, it took about 3 hours to remove her from the mud. It's devastating, especially to the parents of the kids. But we've been supported by the community. They also helped a lot during the incident when we were trying to retrieve the kids from the mud.
So how many died? It's 2 kids?
Yes, it's 2 kids, boy 6 years and a girl 8 years.
And you're also telling me earlier on how the other one got saved.
Yes, so the 4-year-old boy got saved because the father, when the incident happened, the wall hit him and he fell on the boy, so the mud covered the father, who was also pulled out by the community out of the mud, and under him was his 4-year-old son who survived. Yes.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right.
Very devastating hearing the news of the 4-year-old as well, who survived the ordeal here at Panthers Hill because he was covered by his father. The mudslide struck his father, who had covered him, but eventually they were taken to a hospital nearby here in Durban. So that's how the same family got survived. A mother, a father, and a 4-year-old who was covered by the father, but they then were admitted to a
Unfortunately, we've lost connection there with Vusi Khumalo. He is coming to us from Springfield in an area called Punters Hill in Durban, and he is with camera person Thabo Mzweni, and they've been crisscrossing the large parts of eThekwini and speaking to various residents, across the municipality about the devastation in KZN. As you know, close to 400 people have died, 40,000 people have been displaced. Vusi speaking there to one of the residents who says they've lost, family members, describing how a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old died in that structure that you saw where he was speaking. But very, harrowing accounts coming out from the ground where our reporters are currently stationed. Earlier on, he showed us, visuals of community members trying to rebuild their lives by building some of their houses again. Of course, we know that there is aid that is coming through, from government, and we will be hearing from the KZN Premier not too long from now. He is expected to just give a briefing on what they are doing in terms of the rescue and recovery.